afternoon. We'll bring you a commentary of Mansfield Town against Port Vale today in the EFL League 2 playoff final. I'm your alternative host, Russ Vernon, alongside me is your alternative commentator, Josh Bailey, and you are listening to the commentary up. Ahead of kick-off today, which it takes place in around about 5 minutes' time, let me tell you about a game which happened this lunchtime. Wrexham took on Grimsby Town in the National League playoff semi-final at the Racecourse Ground, and it finished 5-4 to Grimsby Town after extra time. I'll tell you all about that game later, and 1 minute, the goals and everything was scored in. Because right now, the teams are just emerging from the tunnel in the Wembley sunshine, which you can see on the monitor. We can now get ready to hand over to your match commentator for the game. As I mentioned, he's getting ready for this game is Josh Bailey, and Josh Bailey is also this afternoon making his debut on JB Sports, who returned to JB Sports after some technical difficulties earlier in the year. But JB Sports returns today for the commentary coverage for on the channel, back on their channel today. So welcome to all those viewers over on JB Sports. We bring you the EFL League 2 playoff final. It's Mansfield Town against Port Vale, taking place at Wembley for a place in next season's League 1. Now time for me to hand over to your match commentator, is Josh Bailey.
Good afternoon, everyone. It doesn't get much bigger than this for these two sides. As they walk out into a sun-soaked Wembley, they know what is at stake. Each blade of grass is touched by history of happiness and heartbreak for these sets of players. Who will be the hero? Who will write their name in the history book of the English Football League? Your lineups for today, then, well, Mansfield, it starts with Bishop in goal. It's at a back four of Hewitt, Hawkins, Perch and McCall then to the midfield three of O'Toole, Longstaff, who's on loan from Newcastle, and Quinn. And it's a front three of Murphy, Oates and Bowery. For Port Vale then, when it's Stone in goal, it's then a back three of Gibbons, Smith and Hall, with a midfield four of the two wing-backs of Benning and Worrell, the two midfielders of Pett and Taylor. You've then got Garrity, who's in behind the two forwards of Harrop and Wilson. But as I said today, it really doesn't get much bigger than this as the teams, they line up side by side. Who is it going to be? To get here then, well, Mansfield, they had to dispatch of Northampton, and the dispatching of Northampton pretty comfortably, actually. Sent them off very well. For Port Vale, it was their case. They ended up going to penalties against Swindon, as now it will have the national anthem of England. They'll be singing it through the way here in the teams. What are they thinking in this moment? What will be going through their heads? It's the biggest occasion. It does not get much bigger than this. They lie on the path of greatness. Who will take that step? Both managers then, Nigel Clough and Darryl Clark, line up next to their teams. Nigel Clough is, I don't know if Darryl Clark is, he actually did get red carded in the playoff semi-final leg v Swindon. However, he is there. The teams then today, well, they're going to be lining up with, it's going to be the white in Port Vale, and then it's going to be in their away kit, and then it's going to be the traditional yellow of It's going to be the traditional yellow for Mansfield. And as for Port Vale, then it's their assistant manager who lined up next to them. Then the manager who took them for a lot of this, through 10 games for this season, this year. And that was, let me take a look at my notes. That was Crosby, the assistant manager. He lines up next to them due to, obviously, Darryl Clark, who has been red carded. Well, as I said, it's Longstaff who does make a return into the team today. The man who has been on loan at Newcastle, who's been on loan from Newcastle this year, and he's had an in and out time in the team. But he's been given the nod. He didn't make the team against Swindon last time. Going up to the manager Nigel Clough, deciding to go for a different look, a different sort of player. But he is back in. He is ready to make his mark. So young, Matty Longstaff. He scored 16 goals in 17 appearances since joining from Newcastle. 6 in his last 15. He didn't have a short spell at Aberdeen as well this season, but he is in the team. And as I said, for Port Vale, then it's their traditional formation. I'm not too sure. I don't think there is any changes from the team that did beat Swindon on penalties in that comeback win. The teams now, they get ready to go. It's going to be this occasion for Mansfield. This is their third time in the EFL playoffs, and they've never won promotion. And with and without John O'Toole, then when he's their big game player, they've had 29 games with, they've won 19, and they've had 19 games, and they've only won 5. So he is the key player in this team. He is the difference maker, and if they are to step foot into the promised land, it will be O'Toole. And then James Wilson as well, the man who's leading the lineup. He's Port Vale's top scorer this year with 14 goals as they come out in, again, the white strip with them in the gold badge and the gold sleeves as well. It'll circle round. And then Daryl Clark, who didn't stand with the teams then all this season, but he is out in the dugout again after being that red card against Swindon. He's had a tough year, Daryl Clark. He suffered family bereavement and took leave from the club from February to the end of March, but he is out today. And then as the Port Vale and the Port Vale and the Mansfield players, they line up side by side with the referees in between them, and they hold the peace sign of the Ukraine flag with the big letters of peace. A reminder that the Ukraine situation is still going on, and that is the captains of Mansfield and Port Vale. We're about to get underway here then in this brilliant game. It should be a cracker. Both sides, they'll be feeling the nerves. They know what lies ahead of them. But as I said, who will step up and who will take it? Nigel Clough tying his shoelaces currently. I'm not sure if he'll be doing much running today. Maybe it will be that pacing up and down the touchline. Man with so much experience in the Football League, so much experience with Burton, Sheffield United. He knows what it takes. Will his team be glorious? Will he lead his team to glory? Gives a thumbs up to his subs bench. And it's Mansfield who will take kickoff today. And as they get on the streamline. And if you do want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us on Twitter handle is commentary live at 1. And then you can also visit our Facebook page as well. The best way to visit us is at the Commentary Hub as well. And that's a /, not a /. But here we go then. Mansfield, who are the home team today. Port Vale, the away team. We're about to get underway here under the historic Wembley Arches. And here we go. We get underway. And he comes all the way out. Now to Quinn and now out to McCaulin. McCaulin then tries to play it down, but that's a really poor pass. McCaulin then, who does have experience in the Football League before and in the playoffs. He was a Southend player in the win against Wickham in 2015 and also in the EFL trophy as well. So they know what it takes. He knows what it takes to win. And again, on the historic Wembley Arches. Quite a good turnout for Mansfield and Port Vale. Port Vale are based in Stoke. An historic team. And the last time they actually were in Wembley was in the Anglo-Italian Cup final with Genoa in 1996. We'll see how that goes. They've just played it forward now. Mansfield are going to try and be comfortable in their own half, trying to get a hold of the ball. It's quite up in the air, really. No one can really get a hold of it. Now it's going to be a throw-in out in the Mansfield half for Port Vale. It's going to play it. And he's just trying to be hustled, trying to go all the way back. And now he's giving it to one of his centre-backs. I think it might be Perch. And now he's gone all the way, not Perch, sorry, so Gibbons. Gone all the way back, and now it's gone all the way up through Stone, launching one high. And that's dealt with really well by, that time, Hawkins. Comes out, and now it's to the full-back of Hewitt. And Hewitt then goes all the way back to the Port Vale keeper. And Port Vale then is Gibbons, number 2. He's had a really good run in the team, Gibbons, and he came through. He's born and bred Port Vale. Came through the youth system. This is his home team, and what would it mean to him to guide his team, to guide Port Vale into League One? And it's launched through all the way up again. A really long kick by Stone, and then it's aiming for Hewitt. Hewitt deals with it well. He just couldn't control it really. That's going to be thrown toward Port Vale. It's going to try and go forward, and that's a really good ball to Oates. That comes back out to Quinn. Quinn now to long start, not Quinn, to Pett, and then it's a cool cross back over. That's going to be out. And who was that? There might have been Pet there. Pet, who has never played in a playoff final. 41 of 48 league games. It's been a quiet opening minutes here for Darryl Clark's team. Just opening 2 minutes, enjoying spell of possession. That will be key. Both these sides are so evenly well matched. Mansfield only securing promotion on the final days. Port Vale, it was a bit more comfortable for them. But they did end the season with 13 defeats in 4. It wasn't a great end of season for them after a really strong run in the middle. It's assistant manager. As I said, the assistant manager who Crosby, who took charge of Port Vale, as I said, Darryl Clark, who came through the youth system of Mansfield. It's a good ball now into the path of Wilson. Wilson tried to control it. It's done really well. Brilliant skill. Just the game's free. Cross into the middle, but it's cleared away by Mansfield, but only as far as Pett. Well, Taylor, and now it's out wide here with Worrell. Wilson now charging in. Wilson trying to cut. He's got all the way here. Out to Taylor. Taylor's shot blocked. And it's cleared away by Mansfield. Port Vale upping the tempo here. Wilson, he's the key man. He's the vocal point of this Port Vale team. He's their identity. It's everything what they are. And he's showing his skill, showing how brilliant he is as a player in these early opening minutes. Playing quite wide out, really trying to stretch this Mansfield defence, that is a back four. Now it's going to go all the way back into the Port Vale half, but not without the pressure. That's often what's going to be a difficult one to control here for Stoneman. He does really well, lofting it forward. And then Mansfield headers it away, but only as far as Pett. Now Pett goes out to, I think that might be Garrity, maybe. No, it's 11. It's Benning. Comes out to Benning, and he tried to take on one of the Mansfield players, but that's a really loose touch, Benning. And it's going to go out for a Mansfield throw-in. Pett, who is obviously the captain of Port Vale. And Pett, he's never played in the League Cup final, never played in the final. 41 or 48 league games. He's their main man again. Leads by example, leads on the pitch. That's a throw-in. Mansfield tries to go long into the Port Vale half, and it's kind of played up in the air, and it's tough. And now, it's a really poor pass. And then he could have maybe tried and compose that. Didn't have to clear that, Taylor, but he did. Could have had a little bit more time than I think he did. And it comes out to Bishop. Mansfield, who are currently in their own half, enjoying backing onto where the Mansfield fans are. And now charging for, could that be a foul? Referee here? He does blow up the referee for a foul, McCalling. And that was a foul for number 7. That was Worrell. Foul on McCalling. McCalling, who, as I said, Southend playoff win, Wickham 2015. And Worrell, who, Worrell, the midfielder of the wing back of Port Vale. But they like to play a 3-4-2-1 formation. Port Vale, 4 in the midfield, and the 2 wing backs of Worrell and Benning. That's going to be a Mansfield free kick inside the Port Vale half, just the left-hand side. Port Vale will be very happy with his opening 6 minutes. Then again, enjoying a lot of the ball. Mansfield, they'll be looking to compose themselves here. It's going to be McCalling who's going to be on this. Looks like it's going to be a looping one in. He's going to whip it into the danger area. It's a little bit of him. It's played across. Nearly comes all the way through to one of Bowery, I think it was, but that's really good defending by Gibbons, of Port Vale. It was headed in across the danger area. There was Bowery that was waiting, but then he's done really, really well there. Gibbons just to get a foot to it. And now it's going to be a Mansfield corner from the right-hand side. Going to whip it in. Tall players such as Bowery and Perch, and it's crossed in, and it's cleared away. Really good. It's only got as far to crossed out, played into the middle danger area. Oh, Bowery was there, but he's gone all the way to Hawkins, who was the back post. He's peeling there for a pulled shirt, but he couldn't control it, and Port Vale get one way there. But it's going to be another corner. It's a really good whipped-in delivery by Quinn. Quinn then aiming for Bowery or Hawkins. Hawkins, who was at the back post. It didn't look he was having his shirt pulled. Remember, there is VAR in these EFL playoffs. And now it's going to be another Mansfield corner on the left-hand side, whipped in by Murphy. So now it's an in-swinger. Not dealt with well by Port Vale. And then there was Scraps tried to head it back into the Port Vale half. And it's a clearance. And Port Vale can breathe here. The Mansfield are enjoying a really good spell of possession. It's cleared out by Benning, the left wing back of Port Vale. Port Vale, when there's a good turnout for them, it's a little bit sparse in places. You have to say the Mansfield end is more heavy in the gold and blue colours. Well, it could be a bit of danger. That's a really good save by Stone. That's a real mess up at the back from Port Vale. It was a pass back, and I think it was Smith who looked like he got the shout from Stone, who's then going to say that was my fault. It was in their own area. It was a cross in, and it was one of the Mansfield players. There was really no danger, but I think Stone's called for it for Smith to let it, and then it's Murphy in the box. Then he's bounced to it, headed from about 6 yards out, point blank range. And Stone really good reactions to make up from Stone's communication mistake, but maybe Murphy could have done a lot better. And now we are going to have a round of applause here. 8 minutes in from both sides, and it is going to be for Daryl Clark, obviously the manager who suffered a family bereavement. He has been through the emotions this year, it has to be said. In February, he took time off from the club after some family bereavement, returned at the end of March for a phased return where, as I said, it was the assistant manager Crosby who took over, and he only had one loss in 10 games to keep their promotion place in check. But it was Daryl Clark who is the hearts of both teams. Obviously the Port Vale manager, but he was a legend in the Mansfield team. He came through the Youssefs and made 177 appearances for the Stags from 1996 to 2001, and then a short spell at the club in 2005, and that will mean a lot in the 8th minute for Daryl Clark. And now it's going to be a Mansfield throw then just inside their own half. It's going to be a long throw. It's going to be, not too sure, it might be Quinn who's going to take this one. It's going to be a long throw. Reaching for it was Bowery, didn't quite get there. But Port Vale have dealt with it well, but a really good spell of pressure for Mansfield, and Nigel Clough will be happy with this after this shaky opening couple of minutes. It was Hewitt who took that long throw specialist. And it's Port Vale deep inside their own half, then near the corner flag, aiming for it. Mansfield have done really well. Good contesting there by Hewitt. Scrapping around. Port Vale have done really well to keep it in then. It's going to be Taylor who then keeps it in, and it's going to be a free kick for Port Vale. Taylor who comes back into the team then after not being in it in the Swindon game. It's going to be free kick. It's going to be Bishop who takes on. It's going to be Stone who takes his free kick. Stone who is released from Mansfield in the summer. There's a lot of rivalries between this. You know, they're not just battling for a place in League One, but they're also battling for a pride at stake. A lot of Port Vale players who were released by Mansfield in the summer and now return to try and break their former club's heart. But this is really broke well here for Port Vale on the left-hand side. Plays it into the feet of Hugh Wilson. Yet again, he likes to drop deep, doesn't he, Wilson? He's such a technical player. It's a long throw now into the path of Harrott. Harrott then, he was shuffled out. Then he got the overlapping run of Benning. But Benning, he complains there, looking frustrated with that really good defending from Mansfield, and it's going to be a Mansfield goal kick. We'll just go back to that chance then, and again, it was just a real hope and kick cross. It was a real hopeful cross, really. He wasn't really expecting much of it, but it's a lack of communication from Stone. That means then Smith then fails to react, really. It might be Gibbons, actually. Gibbons who fails to react. Stone does take responsibility, though, for that mistake, but it left Murphy with a free header from about 6 yards out. He just couldn't capitalise on it. That's the first real big chance of this League Two playoff final, but I'm sure it could be a lot more, and this could be another opportunity. I got really lucky there. Nearly broke for one of the Port Vale players. Might have been Garrity who nearly broke for. Could have been through on goal, but that was really good defending by Hawkins. Now Port Vale launches one into the Mansfield half, but that's good defending, and that's just kept in, stop preventing it from going in for a Port Vale throw, but it's going to be a Port Vale throw Anyway, Port Vale, who are actually playing at the new Wembley for the first time. They played at the old Wembley 3 times, won 1, lost 2. Won at Wembley in 1993, and that was their Football League Trophy final against Stockport. Paul Kerr and Bernie Slavin scored that day. That's their only win at the new Wembley. And that's Port Vale enjoys the possession in their own half. End-to-end stuff, really, really good game of football now. Played in the right-hand side, played it in to Harrop, but Harrop just couldn't quite get there. Hawkins coming across to do really, really well there defensively. And it's going to be a Port Vale throw-in. Just shy of the right-hand corner flag. A few yards away from it. Whoa, take the throw-in next to the lineman. Looks at the options, comes across really well there, Garrett. Now it's played in. Oh, it was nearly broke. Again, really good defending on Manson. They play it long. And now got some good defending. Oh, that's could be a short header. Could be some danger here. Stone, oh, really well. Just got there. Oates breathing down his neck. Really sold him short there. The Port Vale defender, Smith, it might have been. It was a long ball by McCornin, launched forward, but then it was Smith, who's Hall with a really loose header, not enough power on it, too much loft, and Stone got a caught in low man's there, just hope and pray the ball got to him just in time, and it did. Now Port Vale back inside the Mansfield half. Oh, done really well, but that is going to be a throw-in. That's going to be a free kick, deemed to have fouled him, Garrity, the referee. And Aidan Stone, he's had 29 appearances for Port Vale, 29 appearances for Mansfield, 7 clean sheets in his time. Yeah, 9 clean sheets in 27 appearances. He not had a shaky start against his former club, though, Stone. Now Mansfield on the left-hand side. Plays it back. McCornin. Oh, really good. Tried to play the 1-2 really well. McCornin now goes the cross in. Didn't get enough on it, though, and Port Vale can deal with it. Clears away. But Mansfield can recycle it, and this is going to be some more sustained pressure. It's going to be Hewitt here, the right back. Plays it into the middle. Really well controlled by Oates. Dropping deep. Oates, that's a really good play. And now it's Browy. Oh, I couldn't control it, and now it's a lofted ball. Breathing down the neck now is Oates. Oates, oh, nearly. Sorry, not Oates. Wilson it was. Harrop. Bringing on the next just did well. Perchu, he's got a headband around his head today to protect his head. The captain of Mansfield, Perch, number 14. And now it's played. That's really good play for Port Vale clears it away, and then it's now McCalling. Shifting off. The player's now 16 into Murphy. Murphy now looking for the pass on. Not really there. Does give it to Hewitt out on this right. Hewitt now going to try and take on his man. Crosses the ball in. Bowery in the middle. Couldn't find him. And Port Vale will look to clear. And it does. And now it's playing to Wilson. Wilson can now drive forward. Plays it into the path of Garrity. Garrity with Hewitt. Harrop on his right. Plays it into Harrop. But the pass was just a little bit too much on it. And it's Bishop who comes out to collect. Harrop who made that run. Number 24, Harrop. He's on loan from Huddersfield Kean. Harrop, he scored twice against Mansfield this season. And actually played for Salford in their EFL Trophy win for Portsmouth. A lot of experience on this pitch for playing in Wembley from both sides, really. Experience that will be needed. And that's going to be a throw-in for Mansfield. And now it's going to in their own end. Now Mansfield plays it out. And it's going to be offside against. I think it might be one of the Mansfield players. I think it's going to be against Wilson. And it's going to be a Port Vale free kick for the offside in their own half. And Port Vale, well, they had an okay season. They won 22, as I said, 22 league games this season. 11 home, 11 away. However, it's just their end of season form. And then it was 3 defeats in 4. Unbeaten in their 9 previously. But they really did kind of slow down the momentum at the wrong time. And now it's going to be Taylor. Taylor now plays it out to Worrell. Worrell tries to cross it in. I'm in Benning, sorry. Benning, and then it's a bit of pinball. The referee getting in the way, and he's going to blow up because the referee did get in the way, and then that sent Mansfield, that could have been on a very dangerous break after getting in the way of Taylor. This pass to the referee now picks the ball up. He's going to give it back to Taylor, and Port Vale can go again. It's quick thinking now. Taylor plays it in lovely into Worrell. Worrell's got a little bit of an opportunity. Cross wasn't great. Didn't get the power or height on it to cause any sort of danger in the middle, and now it's going to be a Port Vale throw-in. See what they can do from it here. It's going to be Worrell who's going to take the throw-in on this right-hand side, assessing his options again in the white and gold of the Port Vale strip. Taking a lot of time here, not a lot of options. Chested down by Garrity. Garrity then couldn't do best, and that's cleared out by Mansfield. Played all the way in, and it's going to go all the way back out to Stone. And then as for Mansfield, then, well, they lost on penalties to Newport in the semi-final. Nice, could be an opportunity here for Mansfield. Now plays it down the right-hand side to Benning. Benning now cuts it short to Garrity. Garrity lays it off. That's a great shot off the post. Inches away from without McCall back in. Cleared away by Mansfield. Oh, that was so close from Port Vale. Inches away, hit it, striking the right-hand post. And I think it might have been Taylor or Pett that did it. It came out to McCalling on the left, cutting it back to Garrity. Garrity then laid it off to Pett, I think it was. Yes, it was Pett. Pett with the strike, curling effort kind of away from his body and struck the right-hand post. Bishop was beaten. He was getting nowhere near it. And that is the closest chance we've had in this League Two playoff final. And that's cleared high and away by Bishop. And now it's controlled here by Mansfield, by Longstaff. And now it's out to McCalling. Now it comes all the way out to McCalling on this left-hand side. Tried to play down into Oates, making the run. Went Bowery instead, and then it's cleared away by Port Vale. And now there's a little bit of space here. A little lovely 1-2. Wilson looking for the options. Sends Benning on his way down the left. Benning a little bit of space. Trying to get across in the Mansfield players. Takes the deflection, and Port Vale in front in the playoff final. It's Harrod with the goal. A brilliant adjustment of the body from 6 yards out. And it's the youngster who's on loan from Huddersfield, who's already scored twice against Mansfield in season, who puts Vale in front and can start the Port Vale fans dreaming 20 minutes here at Wembley. It was Wilson who dropped deep, sending McCalling on his way on the left-hand side. McCalling got a little bit of space in front of him. Mansfield players scrambling to get across, but he got really fortunate with the deflection. But he's brilliantly adjusted by Harrod, the Port Vale striker. Didn't get a deflection, actually. From my point of view, it looked like it did. But it might have just been a brilliant cross. Yeah, it was. It was a... No, it did. It got a deflection off of that. And Harris adjusted brilliantly for the diving header, going into the bottom left-hand corner, just outside the 6-yard box. And it's Mansfield 0, Port Vale 1. Brilliant play. That was all Wilson. Even when he's not amongst the goals, he's creating stuff. Him dropping deep brought the Mansfield defenders out. And that left a little bit of space to Harrod as they were scrambling back. Picked up beautifully, adjust beautifully. And that's a fine goal for Port Vale, who now lead here. And what a moment that is for Darryl Clark and his assistant manager. A joint effort on the team this year, a joint effort to get them here. Most teams would have folded, most teams would have crumbled, not this Port Vale team. They're a family, they know what it means to fight for each other. And smiles on the faces of all the Port Vale fans. They haven't been in the playoffs they haven't been in League Two for such a long time. The last time they were there, what was it, 2016? I think it was. Yeah, they haven't been in the league since 2016, 2017. It's been the last 5 seasons in League Two. They've had a 20th place, 2 20th place finishes, an 8th place finish, a 13th place finish, and now 5th. And Port Vale on their way again here. Hewitt couldn't have nowhere to go, had to go back Smith sends it in his way. Oh, that's a poor shot. Couldn't get his body around it really where... I think it might have been Gibbons that found his way all the way into the penalty area. It was. Couldn't get the centre-back. He does know how to get amongst the goal, Gibbons. It was him bursting through. Great 1-2 with Harrott. But then... Peck, great 1-2 with Peck, Gibbons, and then it was just a wild shot that of a centre back. I couldn't quite believe it. So close to being 2-0. What astonishing that would have been. But yeah, Port Vale have had such a long time in League 2. Became so used to being in League 1, but they're nearly there, and that's a great flick on by Wilson. Again, he's at the centre of everything. Such a brilliant player, Wilson. And it's going to be a Mansfield throw at a time for them to break a little bit. As I said, Port Vale have never actually played at this new Wembley apart from today. And the last time they played in the playoff final, it was in 1993 when they lost to West Brom 3-0 in the League 2 playoff final, Division 2, but it was at the time. But that goal from Harrott sent them on their way here. And that's pretty nice, Harrott. Now we're ready to go. He's played on his way. It's a brilliant ball over the top now to Benning. And Benning's got green grass in front of him. Not around him. He can take his time to pick up this cross. Does Worrell. Sorry, it was. Timing header off the crossbar. And it's in. And it's two for Port Vale in quick succession. It's Wilson with the goal. He's played such an instrumental part in the first. But he gets his head on it for the second. And he puts Port Vale 2-0 up here. A 1-2 punch that has seen Mansfield knocks out. Wembley has been the home of so many fights over the years. And Port Vale in the fight of their own. And currently Mansfield, they're on the turf. They're out for the count. And it's Wilson with the goal. It was brilliant play. I think it might have been Pett or Taylor who played it over the top. No one around him. And ball in behind for Worrell. He had time to pick out a cross. He did that magnificently to the far post and lofted one. And then it was a header from Garrity maybe, or I'm not too sure, but then it hit the post. It was looping. Bishop didn't know where the ball was, but Wilson was so well placed. He was alive to the danger. He smelled the opportunity, and then he headed it into an empty net. A poacher's finish. A poacher's goal. And Port Vale are 2-0 up here. What a start for Darryl Clark's men. What an opening 24 minutes. Look what it means to them. Look what it means to the fans. They cannot believe what they're seeing here. Nigel Clough, head in hands. His team really haven't been in the races yet. And what a 20 minutes here this has been for Mansfield. But what are they ruining? Jay, what do you think Murphy's thinking right now? That golden opportunity after the Stone mistake, number 26. That's James Wilson's 15th goal of the season. That's his best goal-scoring season of his career. Time of that goal was 23 minutes and 26 seconds. There's going to be a long throw here from Hewitt. Can that do something? Because they need something now. They need inspiration. It's a long throw into the mixer, crowding the keeper. It's a punch away by Stone. Did really well there. And Port Vale going to clear away. It's going to be, what is it going to be here? It's going to be a stoppage in play. I think it might be a head injury. Looking for it is. It might be, is it Hall, is it? Could be number 5, could be. No, Hall's okay. I'm not too sure right now. I can't quite mark out the number on the back of his shirt. Looking, I think it might be Garrity. Yes, it's Garrity. Got an elbow for the face in the congestion, in the chaos of that penalty area. They were trying to disrupt Stone. And what a start this is for Port Vale. Clark, who led back-to-back promotions with Bristol Rovers from the Conference League to League 1. He knows how to win these big games. Yeah, he won the 2015 Conference Final on pens for Bristol Rovers, beating Grimsby. But in the centre of both goals were Wilson. He got the goal for the second, but he was instrumental in the first, dropping deep, opening the space, sending Benning on his way. And the second goal was just alive to the danger. You can smell it. And this, the incredible scenes of the Port Vale fans. Raw emotion. Raw jubilation. These aren't legacy fans. These are fans who have been born and bred into the Port Vale way of life. And they are 2 goals up in front here. And in 26 minutes in, they are that step closer to being in League One football. But as I was talking about Mansfield, they know all too well about being in the playoffs and never winning promotion. 2019, they lost to Pens, to Newport, as I said, in the semi-final. And then in 2004, they lost 4-1 on penalties in a final against Huddersfield, a 0-0 draw. That was at the Millennium Stadium. And actually, in that, they beat Northampton in the semi-finals. Some could have said that could have been written in the stars. However, not today. So far, they are trailing 2-0. They've been well and truly beaten so far today. And Nigel Clough has got a lot of work on his hands. Could be another opportunity. He plays it into the path. Going to be offside. It's into McCollin. Oh, that was so close for Worrell. Landed to Worrell. I think he was offside. It was Garrity maybe or Harrod that found himself in a little bit of space. The ball landed to Wilson. Wilson then played it into the path of Garrity, that might have been, and then if he hadn't got the touch, but the touch then played it into the path of Worrell. And then Worrell had a wild shot, but it was well met by Bishop. A really good save. And Bishop has been ever present in this Mansfield team. He's been a key part. He's been a really good goalkeeper on loan from Manchester United. I'm sure Erik ten Hag, the new Manchester United manager, will be watching keenly on his progress. We know he likes to give youngsters an opportunity, Ten Hag, so maybe he'll be looking at Bishop as the future of the Manchester United goalkeeper in between the sticks. But that's McCalling sending it in, whipping into the back post, trying to header it down. Appeals for a penalty here. It's going to be a throw-in to Macclesfield. So back in all the way to Quinn. Quinn was at the near post. Got his head to it, but there's no one in the middle. No Oates, no Murphy, no Bowery. Nigel Clough ever animated on the sideline. It's going to be one of those long throw-ins now from Hewitt. A couple of yards away from the right-hand penalty area. Hewitt pumps it in, heads away. Now he comes all the way back up to Hewitt again, who's going to cross it in. Good defending again for Port Vale, but it's not clear. Marcus will get another chance here. It's out to Oates. Oates now trying to take on his man, cutting inside. And that is going to be a stoppage in play. And that, I think it might have been offside. Could have been offside on Yost. I think he could believe it. He was going to take on his man. It's going to be a yellow card now from the referee to... It is number 12. It's going to be Hawkins. Yellow card for him. I'm not too sure why he's going to have the yellow card, but pick it up anyway. It's going to be the foul going all the way back. Yeah, it was Hawkins. He was grabbing one of the Port Vale players, and that's going to be a foul. That's going to be a yellow card there for Ollie Hawkins. Ollie Hawkins, who actually, those are the two thing about goals this season, 7 league goals. And he actually played for Portsmouth versus Sunderland and winning a 0-4 trophy. As I said, it's stacked with experience in these big games on both sides. Both teams aren't lacking in that department. Now it's going to be a hoofed ball by Stone. Aiming for the tall figure of Wilson. There's a battle in that midfield. The only thing what Nigel Clough will think about, they don't really seem to be getting a hold in the midfield. Mansfield, and that seems where the game's kind of going wrong for them. Longstaff, who, didn't start the game against Swindon. And it's really struggling, but Mansfield, as we just said about Hawkins getting that red card, they have the second to most red cards this season. Mansfield with 7. Only Bristol Rovers better than with 9. It's played over the top. Lofted ball, that's really good. It was 6. It was 6 who was, I think it might have been Smith who found his way all the way up there. No, it was right. I thought it was Wilson. Wilson peeling off the shoulder of his defender on the right-hand corner of the penalty area. Tried to header it back into the danger area, but couldn't do so. Mansfield end. They haven't given up yet. The team may be 2-0 down. The team may look deflated, but the support in the stands is not. They're cheering their team on, trying to give them a lift of energy. That one goal changes things. We've seen so many dramatic twists and turns in every playoff final And 1 goal from Mansfield, they know will change it. Now they're going to play it just inside, just a little bit inside the Mansfield half. Now they come back in it. McCalling plays a 1-2 with Murphy. Murphy dropping deep, and now we're inside the Macclesfield semicircle in their own half. Perch on the ball. That's McCalling forming that 3. Hawkins now back into the path of O'Toole. O'Toole's in a really quiet game today. I've barely said his name actually. Really needs to get involved more. The whole Macclesfield midfielders, they're non-existent really. The Port Vale midfield has been extremely dominant. That's McCalling. Bluffing over the ball. That's a really, really good ball to Murphy. Murphy then tries to play into the path of Oates. Oates does really well, but he's bundled over, but no foul. And now Port Vale can break here. So really Wilson, lovely 1-2, taking it back. No rush to go forward. They know they've got the 2 goals and really good game management from Port Vale. No need to leave themselves exposed at the back. Now Wilson who fails to control it. Now it's Pett. Oh, great turn from Taylor to turn his way out to great danger. Now he plays Benning out on the way here. Benning's got a man in the middle. See it. Plays it across, goes to shot. Really good save by Bishop. Got across really well on his left-hand post. It was a vicious strike by Royal. Got sent in his way. No one around him. Did have Harriet in the box. Chose not to. And now again, it's Benning. Benning now plays it to Harriet. Harriet trying to manufacture some space for him. And now Macclesfield have got themselves on the ball when it goes all the way back out to Bishop. And Bishop can clear his lines. The fullbacks, the wingbacks causes so much danger for Mansfield. The overlapping runs, they're getting in so much space when they time those runs perfectly. And, you know, the wingers of Bowery and Murphy are doing the job. They're not trucking back. Impinned was Hewitt, too narrow. Sent McCalling on his way. Took too long though. He should have got the cross in earlier. Harrods just a little bit of space in front of him. He knew though the cross had gone. Went for the shot. Didn't connect with it great. That's out to O'Toole. O'Toole driving forward. Got Hewitt to his left. He's going to cross it in. It's good defending by Port Vale. Getting across that was... I don't know who. I'm not sure. It might have been... I think it was Gibbons getting across. But Mansfield then go again here. Turning out of danger. They're just inside their own half. Out to McCalling, the left back. McCalling now out to Murphy. Murphy cutting back inside. Murphy then tried great play into the feet of Oates. Oates had a really poor pass, and now they can be on their way. Wilson. Oh, that's a rough challenge by Hewitt. And Hawkins, and he's off! Hawkins is off, and that could be the nail in the coffin for Mansfield. It was a rough challenge. A complete loss of head. And in what is a sweet day for Mansfield, a day where they can taste the sweetness of promotion. It was the tip of their tongue. Has now turned bitterly sour in the opening 35 minutes. It was Hawkins who was red carded just a few minutes ago. It was Wilson. He knew what he was doing. He wasn't interested in marching forward. He just got there before him, Wilson. Hawkins had already committed to the challenge. Wipes him out. And that is a second yellow card. He took the bait, Hawkins. And he has been caught. And that is him off the pitch. An early bath for the Mansfield centre-back. We said Mansfield have got the most red cards. A lack of discipline amongst the ranks, amongst Nigel Cloug's team. It's the centre-back who now walks down the Wembley tunnel, walking away from that Wembley arch in the fashion that he thought he might not be doing, a fashion he would have wanted to be doing. He dreamed himself of being a playoff winner, but he's walking away from the Wembley arch as a potential playoff loser. Slum faces, glum faces in the Mansfield end. Their team just hasn't been in the races. No fight, no passion, no desire. 2-0 was already a very steep mountain to climb. But that yellow card for Hawkins has just made it even more treacherous. And the 2 silly yellow cards as well. 2 thoughtless yellow cards. There was no need to put in the yellow of Gibbons. Put in the elbow, which was a yellow card in itself. And then Wilson knew what he was doing. It was clever forwards play. Was never interested in breaking. Got a foot there. Got in before Hawkins. Hawkins already committed. And Wilson sold it. And that is going to be a very, very tough class now for Nigel Clough. Nigel Clough, who was appointed for Mansfield in November 2020. He's won 93. He's played 93, won 42, drawn 23, and lost 28. He actually managed Sheffield United in the League One playoff semi-finals in May 2015, but he lost 7-6 on aggregate in his only managerial experience in the playoff. Maybe you sense that the more experienced Darryl Clark in this role in the playoffs seems to have won it, and I'm interested to see what they do now, Mansfield, if it's going to be a player that comes on, if it's going to be a formation change, or if they try and see if they can get themselves out all the way to half-time. We're currently on the 37th minute. A couple of minutes away from half-time then. That's all they have to do to get there. Shake of heads. Children devastated. Their first taste of football heartbreak. A team that have won one and lost one of their Wembley trips. And actually, in 2011, they've been through the woes, Mansfield. They've been through pain before in the 2011 EFL Trophy at Wembley. They couldn't even fill a subs bench due to their dire financial situation. They've played 9 consecutive seasons in League Two. They've rebuilt. They've built the pillars that have sustained this club and built the success of this season. But in the one game that it really all matters, they have not turned up to the biggest stage of them all. They're enjoying some possession in their own half now. Try and calm this game down. It's Perch on the ball. O'Toole. It looks like O'Toole may have slotted into maybe the centre-back position. It's difficult to see what happens at what's happening at this stage in terms of formation. But then it's a long ball, nowhere to go, and that's going to be a Port Vale throw. In their own half, Port Vale. What would you be thinking now if you're Darryl Clark? What do you do? Turn it up? Red card? Do you look to cement the victory? Look to play a bit more defensive? Or do you think Mansfield are here for the taking here? One more goal you feel would put this game out of reach for Mansfield. Would make it just a bit too difficult for them in an already horrific challenge. It's going to be a throw-in by Hewitt. Played into the feet of Bowery. Bowery back to Hewitt then, and he plays it across field to McCallin. McCallin wasn't a great touch, but that's an ambitious pass, and he does really well there to get it to Murphy. And now McCallin got the better, really good bit of grass. Crossed it in. Oh, Bowery was there. Couldn't get his head to it though. He was just a little bit behind him. Then comes out to Hewitt on the right-hand side. The full-back, and his pass back to Longstaff was a heavy one. So I'm going to be O'Toole. O'Toole looks crossing in for the right-hand side. Didn't get much loft on it. Crossing it in. Should have controlled that there. Mansfield didn't. They still maintain possession. Just inside the Port Vale half. O'Toole breaking forward. Comes back to Murphy. Murphy now plays it into the feet of Oates. Oates back to 1-2. To Longstaff. Longstaff out to McCallin. He was a little bit behind him on the left. McCallin now plays in just infield to the front of him. To Quinn. Quinn now tried to play the 1-2, but it looks like he was just body checked there by number 23 of Pett. Pett, the captain of Port Vale, and McCallin would have been on his way. I think he would have the better of Pett, and I think Pett knew that. That's why he made the tactical foul, and that's going to be an opportunity for Mansfield here to do something from a set piece. And set piece is where they look most dangerous. Without the height of Hawkins, they are obviously a little bit more dangerous, but a little bit less more dangerous. But McCallin now, it's going to be an in-swinger from the left. Crosses it in, here we go. Oh, that's a really poor delivery. Spill! Oh, it's clear off the line! Heroic defending! Referee looks at his watch. Another player took him, no! There's another mistake by Stone. It was a really, really poor cross. Stone should have just collected comfortably, but he spilled it. And then one of the Mansfield players was aligned to it. He has an open net, but that's an heroic clearance by the Port Vale defenders. Right place, Right time, and how unlucky is that by Mansfield? But what defending? To clear that off the line, but an awful mistake by Stone, who already made a mistake earlier in this game. And it was Hall with the clearance off the line. I was waiting for the goal to go in. He was gaping. But Hall denied. Ball played on to McCalling. Really good first touch. A little bit loose though. Trying to take on. Crossing in. Noah's in the middle. Really good defending. Standing tall. There was Hall. Battling though. Long start. Battling is Quinn. Comes out to him. Quinn the cross it in, but it's going to be offside. And Port Vale can breathe. That ball in by McCalling. Spilt by Stones. And then how close was that? You cannot get much closer than that. A slither of the ball that prevented that from going in. Still can't work out who the Mansfield player was. It was a live two. Look at it now. Mansfield, they played the thoughts so they were in. Nigel Clough thought it was in. They went to celebrate, but they could not believe their luck there. That is one of those playoff moments that is so incredibly decisive. That's going to be Quinn. Plays it to Longstaff, who's let it roll then for Hewitt. Hewitt then gives it to Perch, who's next to him. So not Paul, it was O'Toole. Seems to have dropped into that Mansfield defence then. Maybe they're playing a 3 now with wing-backs to match the formation of Port Vale. It's going to be a foul here. It's going to be Hewitt. It's going to be a yellow card for Mansfield. Hewitt, number 4, the Mansfield fullback. Went in for a contested challenge. High boot, but again, she wasn't aware. Had no clue that Harrod was there. Charged onto the ball, which looks like he's kicked him in his special area. Taylor. That will be painful for him. Let's hopefully that yellow card from Hewitt doesn't turn into a red card, because that would be game over. Receiving special treatment here. Taylor. Taylor who? This is the Port Vale midfielder. Trying to look if I've got any notes on Taylor. I don't think I have. He's clearly an anomaly of a player, Taylor is. as he gets down for treatment. Have we got anything to have a look at it? No, we haven't. Well, apologies for that. There we go. Nigel Clough, what does he do? But as for Brighton at the end of this, Brighton was all comes for Mansfield at the end of the season. They had 15 of their 22 league game wins came at home. Their away form hasn't been great this season. You can imagine playing at Wembley really doesn't help them either. It's going to be 5 minutes added on time then. 5 minutes. 5 minutes of Mansfield to just go with a goal. Go give them a taste of hope. And as I said, 15 of the 22 league wins came at home this season. But they are unbeaten in their last 6 games in all competitions. They've hit form at the right time compared to that of Port Vale. But right now you just feel like they're in an impossible situation. A situation that can only really be answered at that of those in the sky. A miracle is needed for Mansfield. A Mansfield miracle. It's going to be whipped in here. Port Vale cross. High. And near post. Goes back across. It was Smith who got across. Rose highest. Tried to play it across the face of goal to the right hand post. But no one was there. Smith, who has 44 appearances for the club this season, and actually has 44 appearances in 4 of the last 5 seasons. He's steady. He's a regular in this Port Vale team. You know what you get from him. You understand that what you do. You understand what you get from him. You understand what you need from him. The referee today, as I forgot to mention, Jared Gillet. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can. You can follow us at the Commentary Live 1. You can also visit our Facebook page as well. The best way to visit that is the Commentary Hub / It's a /, not a backslash. Can I remember that? Ross very particular in that. He's got his little notes out. Oh, heads it all up here at the commentary hub. And again, we also hit 100 subscribers as well the other day. So congratulations to all those at the commentary hub hitting 100 subscribers. I've obviously commentated now and then, but for the ones who work in, week out, congratulations to all of you. But what about this first half? What will the two teams think then? Port Vale, I mean, there'll be more of the same really, surely, won't it? They want to continue in the fashion that they're doing. Mansfield, a lot of questions have got to be answered. A lot of questions that have got to be answered. Let's creep into the 50 minutes then of this half. An entertaining first half of League Two football. Those who, apart from the ones the fans of Mansfield and the fans of Port Vale, they probably don't watch League Two all that often, but this is a good showcase of League Two football and why you should even watch it and always watch it. As we eep into 51 minutes, going into the real fine embers of this game. Mansfield will be trying to see this game out. They need to see, they can't afford to concede any more goals. But then they'll really have to go in for it for the first half. In the second half, they've got no choice. They're on the verge of greatness. They might not get this opportunity again. We see so many times in the playoffs, it's teams that don't get this opportunity again. So Mansfield, they cannot waste it. But obviously, don't forget as well, we have on the commentary hub as well, we have commentary of the Champions League final coming up shortly, 8 o'clock. Liverpool v Real Madrid. Who's going to win that, eh? An incredibly important game for both sides. Probably the showcase of English football now. We brought down, it's Perch that's brought it down. Perch is now going to receive a yellow card. 3 of the Mansfield back four all on yellow cards. Would have been 3 straight through there. Garrity. But it was a good challenge. Perch got the ball, but he just collected the man at the same time. That's going to be a free kick now for Port Vale. Inside their own half here then. Mansfield lining up that wall. Garrity still holding his foot, receiving that treatment. But as I said, you'll have the commentary hub. We'll be covering the Liverpool game and the Real Madrid game later. So obviously the Championship playoff final as well. Nottingham Forest v Huddersfield. For who that is the £100 million game, as everyone likes to call it. I assume we'll also have that covered with the finest commentators on the commentary hub. It's going to be Wilson lining up over this free kick that's centrally about 10 yards or so outside the penalty area. Wilson lines over it. Taylor is also there. Wilson strikes, close. Had Bishop wide, had Bishop scrambling for the right-hand post. In the end, he just pulled away when I think he realised it was going wide. But that was so close to Wilson finding the second of this game. Around the wall, that was closer than what you thought. I think he thought that was it as well. Just nearly sneaking into that left-hand post. Just didn't get the bend, didn't get inside it. And even Darryl Clark, who thought that might have been in. Headed hands for Darryl Clark. And then now Port Vale, Mansfield trying to get a hold of it. They can't. But it's in the air to the left-hand side. Dealt with it well, but only as far as to another Port Vale player. And Port Vale player's just shepherding it, just leaving it. Tries to play it over to Harrott. Now it's off to Wilson. Wilson now with a little bit of cutting inside. Using his strength beautifully. Goes to the shot. Oh, he had Worrell to his right and loads of space. He said he went for the shot. Only had eyes for goals, you felt at that point. But it was a tame effort. Straight in the arms of Bishop. And that is half-time here. What a first half it's been. Harrow opened the scoring after Warren was sent on. Benning was sent on his way. Got the cross in. It was a lucky deflection, but Harrow adjusted into the bottom left-hand corner. It was Wilson with the second goal. A looping header hit the crossbar on the right-hand side. Wilson was alert to the danger, headed into an empty net, and that's all Port Vale 2-0 up. Muckleston were in this game though until 2 yellow cards for Hawkins. One after a silly foul, a silly elbow on one of the Port Vale players, and then he was baited by Wilson. Wilson, who just got there before Hawkins. Hawkins took the bait, made the challenge, and that was his second yellow, and he was off for an early bath at Wembley come 30 minutes. Port Vale, they're in the driving seat. It's hard to see how Mansfield could get their way back into this, barring a miracle. Half-time here at Wembley. Mansfield 0, Port Vale 2.
Thank you very much there. Josh Bailey will be back with Josh in plenty enough time for the second half of the game at Wembley today. Let's just remind you of some earlier results in some other fixtures then. In the National League, I'll tell you about that in a second. But earlier on in the Australian A-League Grand Final, Melbourne City 0, Western United 2 was the full-time score there. There's a couple of games later in the Brazilian Serie A at 8:30 and then 11 o'clock. There's also some games in the Finnish League later, all kicked off at 3 o'clock. Results of them should be very, very shocking. We'll try and fetch you those results for you. In the Norwegian League, one result in to tell you about is Amcam 1, Odd 2. In the Swedish Alveksten is IFK Göteborg 2, GF Sundersville 0, Mjällby 1, Kalmar 1, and BK Aken 2, IK Sirius 1 is a half-time score in the Swedish League. Later in the MLS, at 11 o'clock, it is Los Angeles against San Jose Earthquakes. There's quite a few matches in the early hours of the morning as well. Atlanta United v Columbus Crew, New York Red Bulls against DC United, Toronto FC against Chicago Fire at midnight. All these times are UK, just for any listeners who are not based in the UK. CF Montreal v FC Cincinnati, New England Revolution v Philadelphia Union, and Orlando City v FC Dallas all kick off at 12:30 in the morning. Also, some other matches taking place tomorrow morning as well. Inter Miami take on Portland Timbers at 1 o'clock, as with the same kickoff time for Minnesota United versus New York City FC, Colorado Rapids versus Nashville CS, and Sporting Kansas City versus Vancouver Whitecaps kick off at 2 a.m. UK time, and at 2:30 a.m. UK time it's Real Salt Lake against Houston Dynamo, and then at 11 o'clock tomorrow evening is LA Galaxy against Austin FC. Right then, I saw a big game earlier in the National League, and I said earlier to a few people, I think we've already had the game of the day. I know there's the Champions League final to come later with John Stuttard bringing you the commentary on that one. I'll be in the presenter's chair for that one again a little bit later on this evening. But this lunchtime I saw a cracking match which took place at the Racecourse Ground in Wales, the home of Wrexham FC. And just to tell you, with that, this is how the scoring went. So it was 1-0 to Wrexham on 13 minutes, 1-1 after 15 minutes between Wrexham and Grimsby, 2-1 to Grimsby on 47 minutes, 2-2 on 63 minutes. Wrexham then took the lead back on 65 minutes. 72 minutes it was 3-3. 78 minutes, Grimsby retook the lead to make it 4-3 after going 2-1 up earlier on in the contest. It was then 4-4 with 10 minutes to go, and that's how it stayed right through until the 119th minute, when Grimsby Town won by 5 goals to 4 in the in the National League playoff semi-final. Grimsby are now heading to the London Stadium, the home of West Ham United, a week tomorrow, the 5th of June, for the National League playoff final, and they'll find out their opponents, Grimsby, tomorrow lunchtime, when Surrey Moors take on Chesterfield at 12:30 in the other playoff semi-final. Also coming up tomorrow on the channel as well, we've got the Championship playoff final with Huddersfield Town taking on Nottingham Forest, and then after that, the next live offering after the Championship playoff final will be on Wednesday evening when Jack Essen, who's been on before, you've heard him before on the TC Hub, he'll be back guiding you through Scotland against Ukraine for a place in the World Cup playoff final, which will take place on the 5th of June as well. Again, and the winners of that one on Wednesday will take on Wales a week on Sunday at 5 o'clock for a place in the next Winter's World Cup. And whoever wins the playoff final in that World Cup game between either Scotland or Ukraine, who will take on Wales a week on Sunday, they will face England in the World Cup group stages as well. Been a fascinating watching this game we are watching today. Elsewhere, just a bit of news to tell you about, and our sources are telling us at the TC Hub that Ivan Perisic of Inter Milan is on the verge of joining Tottenham Hotspur. The Croatian midfielder has, from what we understand, has agreed a 2-year deal with Tottenham Hotspur. And just a quick message out there to anyone who's listening who thinks they would like to do what Josh is doing and what I've been doing throughout the season, and JB does as well, and so does Paul and Nicholas and many others who's on the channel doing some football commentary for the commentary. We are interested in taking on some commentators to do alternative commentary that we do off tube, more commentary on matches. We are looking to add new people to the list because we are covering the Women's Euros this summer. Plus, we've got a whole lot of football next season, including the World Cup. If you would like to be a part of that one, please do drop us a message on our Twitter feed, on our Twitter DM at Commentary Live 1 if you've got Twitter. If not, just drop me a message via email. Just email rusfernandmedia@gmail.com saying you're interested in joining the commentary but want to know a bit more about it, and then I will leave your number, and then I will get in contact with you to discuss everything from there moving forward. So hopefully we'll get a few more people joining our commentary team for the summer's Women's European Championships. We'll get getting ready to go back to Josh Bailey very shortly for the second period between Mansfield and Port Vale, where Mansfield Town have it all to do in the second half. They're 2 goals down, and they are a man down as well. Who will come out on top in that one? We'll find out later in the programming. I just want to say fantastic coverage from all our team on the Premier League this season. Josh Bailey's done bits on the Premier League, myself, John Stuttard, Paul James, Mike Orneman, Chris Coughlin, amongst others, going through some of the coverage for the Premier League to bring it to you remotely off tube as well, either live or delayed coverage as well. Some of the action in there as well. Anthony Thomas did one earlier in the season as well, as we've mentioned. Like I say, Paul James as well, John Stuttard, Josh Bailey as well in taking action earlier on in the season with some Premier League action. Mike Orneman, as I mentioned, who's one of the brains behind it, along with myself and Barry Swain. a very good friend of ours, is Barry, and a very good friend here with the TC Hub, as I've mentioned as well. We will be, like I say, covering the Women's Euros this summer. We've had the FA Cup coverage on the channel as well, so big thank you to the list, to the people that we've got who do the commentaries. Just a big shout out to some of the commentators that we've got for next season who have, and for moving forward, we've got myself, Anthony Thomas, Aidan Collier, who will be joining the team as a co-commentator, Barry Swain, Chris Coughlin, Chris Wyman for the FA Cup coverage, Dale Brooks, Jack Cunningham, Jack Essen, Jackson Cole, who's going to be joining as a co-commentator as well. John Stutter, Josh Bailey, who you're hearing tonight, this afternoon, should I say. Kieran Hill, Kieran Riley, Liam Busby. Kieran Hill is going to be a co-commentator. He's just joined recently. Liam Busby, Luke Turton, Malcolm Argyle. Luke and Malcolm are going to be co-commentators only. Mike Ornament, Nicholas Jones, Paul James, Ryan Madden. Another new co-commentator joining the channel. He'll be making his debut tomorrow. Trevor Sports and also Warren Bishop. So some people joining, some people just doing FA Cup only, like Chris Wyman and Trevor Sports. Some joining us, some co-commentators. Hopefully we'll have a few more people to add to that list in the coming days and months and weeks as well. We've got, like I mentioned, the Champions League final coming up later, where I'll be presenting the coverage of that one later in the evening. Kick-off is at 8 p.m. for that one this evening. And the Championship player final tomorrow with Nicholas Jones and Ryan Madden making his commentary of debut on the TC Hub. Just to keep you across what's coming up, and then after we finish at the end of Wales against Scotland on the 5th of June, we'll be having some of the Women's Euros starting on the 6th of July, running through to the 31st of July as well. Just a message as well to anyone who's out there who's listened to our coverage today on JB Sports. Very warm welcome back to you guys as well. We had a few technical problems over the past few months or so towards the back end of the season, so unfortunately we couldn't bring you any of the Premier League final day or the final few weeks of the Premier League season and some of the FA Cup coverage as well. So we're glad to be back with you guys. Hopefully we'll be back with another partner channel, JDAC Football, later in the season. But as always, we've continued our partnership with Storm FM for the remainder of this season. We'll hopefully bring you some more goals in the second half in the League 2 playoff final, which will hopefully get ready to hand back to Josh Bailey with for you in a second. The Mansfield players, I can see, are back on out on the field. They're playing ready for the second half, just waiting for the Port Vale team to come back out for the second half. Once we do have inkling that the Port Vale players are back out on the field of play for the second half, we'll get back to Josh Bailey in a second. We'll just while we're waiting for the Port Vale players to come back out at the start of the second half, we'll just bring Josh Bailey in for a second. And it's been a fantastic first half there, Josh, as you mentioned on commentary. Silly for Hawkins to give away that foul that went already on a yellow card, bit similar to Sergi Canos last week for Brentford against Leeds United. But what do you think Mansfield need to do in this second half to get back into the game, really, Josh?
I mean, what can they do to get back into this? What can they do to get back into this half? It's stacked up against them to say that they were not at the races in that half. I think they were in the midfield even before that Hawkins second yellow card, which resulted in the red card. They were really struggling in the midfield. Longstaff, O'Toole, and Quinn really couldn't get a foothold in the game and cement some sort of possession, especially O'Toole. Like I didn't see him really. Neither did Longstaff, and Quinn was a little bit more active, but the midfield was pretty much non-existent. So that's where they've got to improve. Towards the end of the second half, after that Hawkins red card, it seemed like O'Toole was slipping in to the defence. I'll be interested to see if they continue that come the second half. But we'll see. But yeah, no, I can't wait to get underway in the second half. We've just kicked away here at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, so with that second half back underway then, it's time for me to hand back to your match commentator for the second half. It's over to you, Josh Bailey.
Yes, hello again, everyone. You just heard me, and we're here again for another 45 minutes of League Two playoff action. 45 minutes where villains can become heroes and heroes can become villains. As we've seen in this first half, Hawkins, a hero for Mansfield this season, turned villain with his 2 yellow cards that resulted in a red. And we saw Wilson. He's the star of this Port Vale team. He's the man who leads them through danger and through the dark times into the glory. And he has just done that today, involved both the goals, goal in one, and key involvement in the first goal. For Mansfield, as I said just then, they were looking to keep things in the midfield, a little bit more control in that midfield. Whether they do that is another story. And I'm not too sure if they will, especially with that yellow card, especially that Hawkins red. It really would be interesting to see what they can do. And it's battling away here. Mansfield in the midfield. And then we've got Hawkins. We had a yellow card for Perch and for Hawkins too in that first half. So we had a yellow card for Perch, yellow card for Hewitt. And we did say that they're the most red-carded team, the second most red-carded team. But if you look at that touches, the fewest. Mansfield, incredibly few. But here we go, Port Vale on the break here. Now tried to send Benning again on his way down that left, but he couldn't. Now he turns back around. Now it comes to Taylor. Taylor now all the way out to Hall. Hall looking for the pass. Tries the 1-2. That's brilliant. Now Hall's on his way down the left. The touch was great. Brings him inside. They're just above the edge of the area. Cuts back beautifully. Plays it into Wilson. I couldn't find the space. The touch was heavy. He was scrambling. Gets the shot away. It's blocked. And Bishop can collect. Great break into the box though by Hall. Great 1-2. The first touch he didn't think was great. But the way he just sends the defender and then Wilson, he gives it to Wilson. Great pass. Wilson's touch was not great. Couldn't find the space in that area. And it's now going to be a Port Vale corner then. From the left-hand side. Raises his arm. It's crossed in. It's a deep one. Headed him back across. And in the middle. Oh, couldn't get there. That's all done really well. And that's going to be a goal kick. Pett with the header. This was headed back across the side. Really well worked with Pett. He just did get the header. And it looks like he did come off from Mansfield arm afterwards, actually. So maybe the wrong decision there. Oh, with Harrott actually with the header instead. Maybe not Pett. What do we expect of this second half then? What can we expect? It's all for Mansfield to do. If they can climb this mountain, then it will be one of the greatest, not only League Two playoffs, but one of the greatest the playoff comebacks ever in this game that we call football. That's going to be a throw in here for Port Vale inside around half, then he opposite the penalty area on this left-hand side. It's going to be a quick throw, really good work there. Quick throw by Benning. Benning has to go back though. Gives it to Taylor. Taylor looking to work the space, goes all the way back to his centre-back. That might be Gibbons. Gibbons then trying to find his wing-back Worrell. Can't. Plays it down. Tried to play it through the lines. Really well read though by Mansfield. Would this be the start that he was hoping for? Nigel Clough. Obviously the son of Brian Clough, who guided glory of Champions League such as Nottingham Forest, and his team who are playing tomorrow in the final. He was trying to play a long ball through to Wood, and that wasn't a great clearance from Bishop. Bishop, who just kind of I just think wanted to clear it. It was Garrity who was putting the pressure on him. Garrity was making the run through the middle. I think, but obviously, yeah, the son of the legendary Brian Clough. Brian Clough, who's not in the Forest, are playing tomorrow. That's going to be Benning with this throw in on the left. Looks like he's going to go for a long one here with the Puma ball in hand. Remember, Port Vale in the blue and white in the white and gold strip. So predominantly white with a little bit of gold on the numbers, on the collar, and on the sleeves, and then Mansfield are in the yellow. The predominant body of yellow kit with blue sleeves and blue shorts. That's a long throw by Benning, aiming in for Wilson. Couldn't get it, a little bit of pinball in the middle. Poor challenge there from, I think it might be Longstaff, but he didn't go down, Benning. Got straight back up. He's now played it to Taylor. Taylor trying to open an area here for a cross. Gets the ball in. Really good cross. It's a little bit heavy, though. Did really well to get it in. Aiming for Harrott, but then Harrott has to run after it, and it's going to go out for a Mansfield. Throw in a wasted opportunity there for Taylor. Did really well, actually, to get the cross in, but then wasted the opportunity once he got that cross in. Number 17, Taylor. Midfielder. And that's going to be Port Vale again, trying to keep possession. Mansfield headering it away. Not the start they would have wanted. But here we go. Could be a little bit of break. Taking it really stride there. Was Quinn. But now it's Taylor. Taylor then goes back behind him to Worrell. Worrell now back to Gibbons. That's playing it into the path of Wilson, who again dropped deep. Wilson then into Taylor. Taylor then plays it into the... This is Taylor. Taylor then plays it out wide to Benning. Benning then looking for the overlap. He's going to try and run into the middle then with the space was created. Benning's got the space. Gets the cross in. Aiming for Wilson. Wilson couldn't get his body to it. And now it's going to be Pett. Pett tries to get the cross in. Tries to lay it out. Comes to Taylor again. Taylor lofting one in. Sliced cross. Aiming for Worrell there, who made the run in behind. Now he crosses the back in after shifting his body, disguising the run. Aims for Wilson. Comes out to Taylor. Oh, that was really, really close to the left-hand post of Bishop's goal. The Mansfield goal hit it first time. Maybe snatched it a little bit, Taylor. Aim at that left-hand corner, but he had Bishop worried at full stretch. Felt him at the edge of the area there. What a goal that would have been. Just covering his near post. Taylor really close to making it 3-0 here to Port Vale. That's going to be played out. And the goalkeeper, Port Vale, will get it straight back, straight away. Wilson is made to control it. Brilliant play. Play it on top to Garrison on the left. He's got a little bit of space. Tried to play it across to the middle to Harrott. Was in the left-hand side of the edge of in the box. Tried to play across to the middle of Harrott, who was about 12 yards out. But it's really good defending by Hewitt, the fullback. He looked like he was gone. He did really well to stand tall and get back somehow. It's going to be a substitution here for Mansfield. Then the first substitution of the game is going to be Murphy that's coming off. And it's going to be George Lapsley for Mansfield. And he comes then, Lapsley, who is 36 years crossed out, gives the ball in. Who's 36-year-old Lapsley. He's lost 3 semi-finals previously in the playoffs. That win against Southampton was his only win ever in the playoffs. George Lapsley, who is actually, I think, a centre-back. George Lapsley is a centre-back by trade. So an interesting change there from Brian Clough, not going attacking, trying to shore up that defence, because to be fair, they have been under the cosh in these opening 10 minutes in the second half. So Lapsley will slot in centre back, and that's a really, really poor goal kick there from Bishop. When his team need a break, when his team need to get a little bit of momentum in the game, all you have to do is get a good cross. All you have to do is get a good goal kick, but he goes straight out for a throw-in. And Port Vale will gather that ball straight back up. As I said, Lapsley, 36 years of age, probably the oldest member of this Mansfield team. He's experienced. I would say no, he knows how to win, but after the 3 semi-final losses, I'm not too sure. That's felt really nicely here to Bowery. Bowery there now trying to break away, but it's brilliant defending by Taylor. to make that change. Now they could be on his way. Worrell with the overlap. He's going to get there first. One of the Mansfield players couldn't take it in his stride. Turn back around. Played it a little bit behind him here to Pett. Pett couldn't break into the area. Couldn't get the cross in. And Mansfield have the ball back. And Mansfield playing in the area. They just need a little bit of hold in this game. And this could be their chance. Goes out to Bowery. Bowery then plays it back. Now it's Hewitt that's let the ball run away from him and turned. Then turns all the way back. No passes going forward. And he gives it back to the recent substitute, Lapsley. Lapsley then plays it forward to him. With Longstaff, who's in a little bit of space. Longstaff, who's traditional shuffle as he looks for a pass. Screwing for it is 44. Again, now it comes out to Hewitt. Hewitt with a little bit of space in front of him. He can run into it here. And he does. Gives it back to Bowery, who just dropped in behind him. Bowery now to Longstaff. Longstaff plays it forward. Tried to go the 1-2 with Oates. Couldn't. And now Port Vale could break here. It's Garrity. Garrity could have played it over the top to Wilson. Chose not to. Went behind him to Worrell, the right wing back. Who then does get it to Harriet. Harriet, who's then now on the floor. And it looks like he's been brought down. Doesn't. Now Mansfield could have an opportunity. Phil didn't really break for him. And it's now Longstaff just inside Mansfield half. Brilliant ball. Really good idea. But just didn't pay off. Trying to play it into the path of Quinn, that might have been. Now Mansfield can go again. Longstaff plays it to Perch. Perch then plays it to the right of him. To Hawkins. There's not to Hawkins. He got sent off. To Lapsley. Lapsley now gives it. It's been brought down, and that is going to be a foul. The referee blows up there. The referee, obviously, I said today, who is the referee? Oh, I think I seem to have forgotten. I will get that back to you. I will get the referee, who is Jared Gilley today. Did a good job. A key decisive moment, obviously, with the red card. A moment that kind of flipped the tie on its head. And now it's going to be Lipsley again. Tries to play a ball forward. He was being pressured into it. Good high press by Port Vale. And now it lands to Gibbons. Gibbons, who plays it into Wilson, who once again dropped deep. Wilson then goes behind him back into the Port Vale half. And that's a good chance. Really well dispossessed after Smith got a little bit too greedy. Coming forward, a little bit of stopping control. But they've done really well there, Port Vale. Put it with the extra man. Just a turn, outnumber Mansfield. Stop them from going forward and make them turn back around again. So now Hewitt to Quinn. Quinn goes in front of him to Bowery. Bowery now back out to Hewitt. Inside the Port Vale half, the right back. Now gives it in to Oates. Oates now does really well to hold the ball up down to Hewitt. No one really in the middle though. Frustration. It's now Bowery. Bowery's going to cross in. It's a poor cross though. Port Vale deal with it. Lands Carney to McCalling just on the right hand side of the box. Might go for the shot. Does. Blocked by Port Vale. Now comes the four. Comes to Hewitt again. Hewitt then gives it out wide to Bowery on this right hand side. But he's being harried and hustled. And he's now worked all the way back. Right to the edge. And all the way back now to the goalkeeper of Bishop. Really good defending by Port Vale. Really good energy from the Port Vale team. Something that Darryl Clark and his assistant manager Crosby have installed in this team. He plays it forward. A lofted, hefty ball. Falls well here. It's now Longstaff. Longstaff goes out to the left to McCalling. McCalling's going to take on Morrill here. Does really well. Opens up a little bit of space for him. Body's in the middle. But it's blocked really well there by Morrill, who's adamant that is. The corner, he thinks, it's a goal kick. He thinks the last touch came off. McCalling, referee disagrees. It's going to be a Mansfield corner here. Probably the best spell of possession they've seen since the opening moments of this game. And they've had the most goals on corners this season, Mansfield. 12 goals. Their fans haven't given up. They still believe. It's going to be an outswinger from this left-hand side. Whips it in. It's a really poor cross, though. Not what they need. But they got lucky. Oh, that's really close. A shot on the turn there by McCalling. Foul really nice to him. Just inside the box centrally. Maybe just a little bit outside it on the turn. Got so much power hitting that on the turn. Didn't take a deflection and nearly found its way into the left-hand post. Nearly crept inside. I'm not sure Stone would have covered it. I'm really not too sure. Corner's probably been...
We'll be back with Josh in just a second. Just Peter just lost him there. Currently 2-0 to Port Vale is the score. Peter have got him back now, so back over to you, Josh Bailey.
Yeah, sorry about that, Ross. Not too sure what happened there. But I am back now, as I was saying. Mansfield, they're cheering as the players on. They're not giving up here. The yellow and blue army, the Stags, they're waving their flags around. They're standing up. They believe. Can their players believe? They're not letting this move ruin the party atmosphere. One man who's dressed in half naked, no top on. He's dressed in the blue and white. So the blue and yellow of the Mansfield teams. A party-like atmosphere in Mansfield, driving their team on. They have half an hour to do so. It's going to be a substitute. It's going to coming off, and it's going to be a goal kick here. It's going to be Stone in the Port Vale end. It was the McCalling shot. We've just seen it was on the edge of the area centrally, hitting it on the turn. Did really well. Generated a lot of power from it. It's going to be a little bit of Pimble Wilson doing really well, using his strength. It's going to be cleared out. High. Who's going to get there first? It's pretty poor, though. Poor Vale mistake. Harry hustling. Oh, that wasn't the right idea. They get a lot more time than he realised, I think. Quinn, who sent Oates on his way, but the ball was just a little bit too hard. Quinn, who, as I mentioned, he lost 2012 League One playoff final and Championship playoff final for Sheffield United. Steph Quinn, he has not enjoyed any sort of happiness or luck in these two playoff finals, and he is half an hour away from a third playoff final defeat. And now it's Wilson that sent Harriet on his way down the left here, but he's been shepherded out. He's right by the corner flag. That's going to be a Port Vale throwing him really well. Knew he was in trouble, knew there was nowhere to go. Hit it against the Mansfield defender, hit it against Perch. And it's going to be a Port Vale throw-in. Just spit follow this left-hand corner. Wilson now holding his left-hand hamstring, stretching it out there. Might be feeling a little bit tight. Can't blame him. The amount of running he's done today, Wilson. It's been incredible. Their top scorer, their main man, and he's really rose to the occasion today. It's going to be Benning with the throw-in. Gives it to Wilson, who's still running, but he's met with two Mansfield players of Longstaff and Hewitt, and it's going to be a Port Vale corner from this left-hand side. See if they can do that. One more goal for Port Vale. You would feel it would be game over to them. Port Vale, who last time they came to Wembley, lost in an Anglo-Italian Cup final versus Genoa in 1996. Donut 5-2 that was. Don't ask me how that came about. Something they did back then. Nice, a load of boys. Wilson comes across. Really good save. Scramble for it. And it's in. And Port Vale are through. You've got to feel that safe and dry. It's Harriet, but he's offside. It's Harriet. The offside flag is up. He was celebrating to the corner flag. Matt Hyde, the linesman, whose flag was then raised. Pretty a bit of genius from this corner. Benning to Wilson, who ran off his man. Went for the shot, and it was a really good save. But it was still really by Bishop. Split into the path of Harriet, who thought he had Mansfield sending their way on to League One. But he was offside. Matty Longstaff, then the Newcastle loanee. That will be his last game for Mansfield before he returns to his parent club. Newcastle, it's a substitution, bringing on Maris here. For them, George Maris, the forward. They are going for it here. Mansfield. Maris getting straight involved here against the Oats. Managed to get a little bit of fortune here. Comes out to McCalling on the left. McCalling then going to look to cross in. Does just gets into his box. Has a little bit of space. Crossing it in. Aiming for Barry, who was on the left there. But just couldn't get. It was a bit too high for McCalling. Has to do better with that cross. Did really well that Oats. Got it out. And then McCalling opened the body up. Charging towards the goal on the left-hand side. Gets the cross in, but there's just a bit too much in it. Reece Oates, who has 12 goals this season. And he played in the National League playoff final for Hartlepool. That was when they won. And last season, he only had Hartlepool last season when they bought them off Hartlepool. Mansfield. And then 1 goal in the last 8 appearances for them. That's going to be really good play there by Wilson, just pressing Mansfield, not letting them have a moment on the ball. And it's going to be a substitution here for Port Vale. It's going to be number 17 off, so it's going to be Taylor who comes off. And it's going to be number 20 who comes on. And that will be, who is it going to be? That will be Charlie. It'll be Chusley, Harry Chusley, the Irish midfielder, I want to say he is, coming on here to see this game out. Number 20, blonde hair, quiffed off to the left-hand side, and he has 24 minutes to play his part in keeping Port Vale in this lead and sending them to League One. It's a high kick by Bishop into the Mansfield end. Dealt with well though by Port Vale. But right now, and especially you feel like this is where the pattern might go. Port Vale with the extra man, with the 2-goal advantage. They know they can sort of rest a little bit. And here we go. That's a really good ball. I thought Chelsea had a little bit more space in front of him, but came across was Lapsley. Did really well there to cover. And what's it going to be? The period for the foul. It's going to be a foul towards Port Vale here against McCalling. McCalling, who's wearing yellow bandage over his wrist. On his left hand wrist, all yellow for Mansfield. You've got to see it was a foul against Chelsea then. Already did his bit after just coming on. And it's going to be a Port Vale throw-in inside their own half. Chelsea, who scored 2 goals this season, then 2 league goals. And it's going to be, played it on. It's played over the top. Wasn't the right idea. Worrell was through. Worrell had a load of space in front of him. But Chelsea just wasn't the right ball. But you got to feel like Darryl Clark would be happy. He'd be happy with his team are doing here. What the new substitution is doing. Slepsty plays it to the right of Perch. Perch then gives it to McCalling, who's come and collected the ball from the left. The last minute, as you say, the last 10-minute possession. Mansfield 68, Port Vale 32. But it's a loose pass. And now it's Harriet. Picks the ball, but he had to go backwards though. Couldn't really go forward. Mansfield defence really well there to making the mistake. It's now with Hall just inside the Mansfield half. Plays in McCalling. There was a little bit of space. Cuts back inside. Sorry, Benning this was, not McCalling. Benning is met by Bowery, who's done really well to come back across. And then it's a slashed clearance, but it's really well brought down by Oates. The ball's brought really well for O'Toole, I think it was. It might have been Maris, though. Maris it was, but really well for Maris there. But again, really good defender by Port Vale, but Mansfield will be encouraged here. They're not lying down. They're not giving up. Played into the feet of Oates. Back into the feet of Oates again, who's trying to shove the position, but he left the ball behind and then got the challenge in. And now it comes to Wilson. Wilson, and now Benning could be on his way. He's got a lot of space right on the left. He's going to cross it in. This could be it. Chelsea for the goal, the substitute. And he's offside. 2 offside goals in a matter of minutes. 2 offside goals that would all but secure Port Vale's place in League One next season. But how key could that be? It was Oates that got dispossessed in the midfield. Wilson again fed it into Harriet. Harriet, it was the overlapping fullback of Benning. Benning picks out across beautifully. Chelsea just made his run. He took the touch, took it so well. Finished. Was perfect. The only thing that wasn't perfect was the run. And that is 2 offside goals now for Mansfield. For Port Vale, sorry. How many more will they score before they can fully punish Mansfield? How many more will go begging until Mansfield might punish them? They'll be encouraged by that, Mansfield, though. There's still breaths inside this Wembley Stadium from their team. They're on their last legs, but they're still standing somehow. Lapsey then wins the foul. Mansfield, they're charging this performance, charging this belief, the Mansfield fans. Was not happy at all. Didn't think it was a foul on Maris at all. But now I'm going to try and take it on really good here. Take it on, crosses it in. There's a good block shot. Maris, who was taking his player on. It's a block shot. Not happy with that, is he? Really not happy with it. Oates. It's going to be a throw in here, just inside. They can sense something. With 20 minutes to go, you feel like it is stacked against Mansfield. And Port Vale have shown that they are capable of scoring goals. They've only failed to score in 9 of their 48 games this season, which is an incredible record. The dangerous in front, that are likes of Harriet. Harriet is crossed in. It's headed away. The first man didn't beat the first man after a long throw there by Hewitt. Hewitt, that's a great ball. Comes to Maris. It's a shot. Oh, it's a great save. It was a deflected shot. Had to be alert to it, Stone. Hasn't had much to do, but that's a brilliant reactionary save. It was Hewitt who picked out Oates. Oates, great first touch. And he might have taken a deflection just outside of the area. Got out his feet really well. It was a deflected shot, and it was a great save by Stone. It's going to be a cross over the right-hand side. Mansfield upping the hit temperature here at Wembley Stadium. Cross in. Had to be punched away by Stone. 2 Mansfield players going for it. Another could be on the break here. It's Harris. Garrity that was stretched, was running for it, but he couldn't get there. Bit into it by a Mansfield player. Now they're all the way back inside the Mansfield half here. Mansfield playing with it. Gives it all the way out to Quinn. Quinn on this right here. Walks in, runs inside his own half. They know time is running out. They are on stage one of the greatest comebacks in playoff history. Comes to Wilson. Wilson then goes back inside his own half. Gives it to Hewitt. Hewitt then receives it after a 1-2 with Maris. It's Maris. It's now Quinn. Quinn gives it back inside to his own half. It's then played into McCalling. So, yeah, McCalling comes all the way back out now to Hewitt. Hewitt now charging forward with the ball. Turns back around, though. Not much to go. Gives it to Maris, who was to the left of him. Maris now gives it. Now it's collected. It's now Oates. Oates going to go for the shot. Goes for it. Oh, going across the face of goal. Don't think it was ever travelling Stone, but it was worth the effort. No one really closed him down. He picked the ball up, drove into space on the right-hand side. Took on his man just outside on the right-hand side, just outside the edge of the area, maybe like 5 yards outside or just outside of it. Goes for the shot, always going for the spectacular there. And Stone, I think he knew it was going wide, but he just had to be covered just in case. Who is going to be the Mansfield hero here? If anyone's going to be the Mansfield hero, who will it be? With 17 minutes, as time trickles away for these Mansfield fans, as the nerves build up for the Port Vale fans. It's going to be a big 16 minutes for the future of both these clubs. A future that could decide the next few years. A future that will certainly decide next year. It's Port Vale who will now be looking to probably enjoy a little bit, spend the possession of this game, but Mansfield still they keep possession, but here we go. Tries to play it into the path of one of the players, and now it comes out to Bowery. Bowery who gives it away, but now they've got a little bit of green, and they can break here. Quinn plays it in to Oates. Oates who had to drop deep, but the pass was a little bit behind him, so he's had to turn back into trouble. And all over him. He does really well to get away from his former player. And now it's Oates. Oates looking for the pass through the legs of Pett. Turns back around. It's Oates. Oates trying to go over the shot. Could be a foul. Referee thinks otherwise. It looked like he was brought down. Looked like a rough challenge from Hall. And Oates can't believe he's not. Shakes his head as he gets back to his feet. And it's now Perch. Goes up to Lepsley. Lepsley out to now Hewitt. He's playing quite a narrow role. Looks like they've gone to a back three. Hewitt playing that of a right centre-back. Hewitt now gives it to Maris. Right, then all the way back, and it now finds O'Toole. So now back out, and that was aiming for Bowery, but now Port Vale can have it in their own half and just be composed with it, control this game better. They've not had great game management in this game, but they can enjoy some possession. Possession they haven't had for the past 15 minutes. But they give it straight back to Mansfield. Trying those long balls. Is now going to be a substitution for Port Vale. It's going to be Harrott that comes off here. The man who's got the goal, the man who got the first goal, the man who sent Port Vale on their way to glory. Set them on this path of victory. A path that they're nearly at the end of now. And it was Harrott with a kiss of the fingers and a blow of it out to the Port Vale fans. And it is going to be Harrott. Kian Harrott now comes off for Jamie Proctor. Who comes on, and Harrott gets a big congratulations from his manager, Darryl Clark. And also, that'll be the one substitution. Remember, Taylor, as he came off earlier in the game, he came off for Charles Lee, who had that opportunity, who had that goal, but then was ruled out for offside. Harrott as well had another goal, a tapping from a corner, a spilled shot from the Mansfield goalkeeper that he reacted too well, but he was offside in doing so. Reacted too well. It's not going to be a Hewitt throw in here as he just cheekily walks in, but look at that. That's what you love to see. Hewitt cheers to the fans. Gets a round of applause from his team, from his friends. And now it's Bowery. Bowery takes on his man. He's doing really well here, Bowery, the last 10 minutes. He's going to get the cross in. No one in the middle. It's a block, though. It's going to be a Mansfield corner. 13 minutes to go here. Hall was the one that blocked it. Port Vale centre-back. Hall actually scored in the playoff final win for Harrogate in 2020 in the National League. He hasn't got on the score sheet today, but he's been instrumental in keeping those crosses out. We know how good they are from set pieces and from crosses, and they have another one here. It's going to be from the right-hand side. Crossing it in is Quinn. Throws it in. Cleared away again by Port Vale. Done really, really well. And they could be on their way here. It's Garrity. It looks to have been brought down by Lapsley. And yeah, I think he has. He thinks he hasn't. Number 32. Look, it was good game. Great defending from Port Vale. They've really done their homework on corners. Probably the opening 10 minutes, like this game, Mansfield haven't really threatened. It's going to be another substitution here for Mansfield. It's going to be number 34. It's going to be Akins, who coming on here for number 16, for Quinn. Quinn, as I said, who has had heartbreak in playoffs before during his incredible career. Losing in 2 finals, one in League One and one in the Championship. And Lucas Akins, who comes on now, he played for Clough at Burton, actually. So Clough knows a lot about him, following him his way all the way to Mansfield. It's going to be a goal kick by Stones. Goes all the way out to McCaulin. McCaulin, who had a lot more time there, didn't need to rush that pass, but he did. Really well controlled, though, by Akins. This is his first playoff appearance. One of the few inexperienced playoff players today. That's Port Vale. Really well controlled here by Proctor. Gives it out now to Worrell. Worrell now tried to play it into Wilson, who's making a run down that right-hand side, narrow to the touchline. However, his size and Perch sees it out. Darryl Clark. What will Darryl Clark be thinking now He's animated. He's still in from once of his assistant managers. He knows his ties are over. 11 minutes. You can't start thinking about promotion yet. It can change. This is football. This is the playoffs. Nothing is ever for granted. But he knows how big this will be him. For such a tough year for him. A year where the team have had to band together. Where they've glued together like family. Well, they fought like family today for this victory. And they are 10 minutes away. Mansfield fans who can't bear to look anymore. One who has his hand, his eye, his head in his hands. 10 minutes to go. It feels like the championship dream is just slipping away. After the Hawkins red card in the second half, it felt like the door was slammed shut. But this second half performance from Mansfield has just ajarred it a little bit. However, it feels like he didn't open the door enough. It wasn't enough for Mansfield and Nigel Clough to fit through. Because right now, Vale have kept Mansfield out. And now they've got it in their own half here. Just outside the penalty area. Driving forward. Comes all the way back. Garrity. Now comes to Worrell. The fullback. Worrell into Pett. A couple of exchange passes. Then plays it into the feet in front of him. Oh, it's a defect shot. So Klein there to Worrell. Worrell's going to waste time. Really good game management there and see it out for Port Vale. Throw him. John Roger is the Port Vale club president. A team that has been, both teams really have been despaired of the highs of League One for so many years. Oh, great little play. That was the right idea. Warren made the run in behind and defence, but it was just good. Also, really rogue touch here from Bishop. Doesn't get it away great. Comes with a full player again. The player who does get his challenge in. And that's going to be a foul to Mansfield. But he's now limping after that. He was always stretching. It felt like the ball was a little bit too far away from him. Pet again, who I've said it is the captain of Port Vale. Don't forget that. He's never played in the final today, but you wouldn't have guessed that. But now it's Akins. A little bit of space here. Gives it out to Oates. Oates now driving forward. Oates who could try and play in Alepsy, but couldn't. Now it comes out to McCallin. McCallin now tries to get the cross in. Oates takes the touch really well. Tries to put to Akins. Akins loses it though. And Port Vale can now join possession in their own half. But Wilson's not having any of that. He's done really well to get away from his man. To draw the foul from Akins. And that will be to waste more time. He has to be the man of the match, surely, Wilson. Everything about his game has been brilliant today. Not just his goal-scoring abilities, but he reminds me of a player like Harry Kane. You know, the League Two, Harry Kane, may we call him. And Port Vale fans, I feel like they know. They feel like they can start to believe now. You never want to believe too early. You never want to believe that you could possibly be in League Two. But they are here. And they are 7 minutes away from doing so. It's now going to be a Port Vale throw-in on their own side. It's Perch who cleared it away. Again, wearing that headband. And still, Clark, he doesn't stop. Always talking. Always coaching. His players always know what he demands from them. And that is why they're winning this playoff final 2-0. Sitting away and they're enjoying a good possession. They've had to endure some scary moments in this second half. Port Vale hasn't been all their way. They haven't enjoyed loads of possession. You know, there have been times where you thought the Mansfield might get back into it, but now they're enjoying it. Now it's Worrell right away, gets the cross in. There's no one there. It's McCauley comes across. Great save, it's a goal! And it's Port Vale with the third goal! And that is it! Port Vale are on their way to the championship, betting the fullback at the far post. And that is them in the championship. They're on their way to League One. In a season of circumstances that extend beyond the world of football, Darryl Clark has battled on, and his resilience has been rewarded. His team have come together. They played like family throughout the season, and they played like family today. He is a playoff winning manager. His team are playoff winners. And they are heading to League One. It was a ball in by Worrell. You thought the cross had gone, but he somehow got the crossing. And then Manning, right into the near post, no one around him, hits it first time, sliding volley. No chance for Bishop. Outstretched legs, bottom corner. And Port Vale on their way to League One. Number 11, they deserve it. It's been a professional performance. It's been a brilliant performance. McCaulin, obviously, who is a third goal this season. He's played in these games before. And he knows what it is. And off comes Worrell now, who's been brilliant today, the fullback. Who was replaced by Aaron Martin. Fullback Worrell got the assist there. It was a brilliant assist. Didn't give up on the cross. And it's Manning who has his goal. And now the party starts. Now the Port Vale fans can dream. Because they are on their way to League One. After abject years in League Two. After 20th finishes. After so many finishes in the bottom half. They thought, would they ever get themselves back to the land of League One? But today is that day. Today, they will confirm their place for next season. They won't be worrying about how next season goes. They will be enjoying today. They've worked hard for it. 22 league games, won. 11 home, 11 away. 17 clean sheets. It's been a season of unprecedented circumstances. Football means so much to so many. But the circumstances that have been bestowed upon Darryl Clark and his team when he had to take leave after obviously family bereavement at the end of February, came back at the end of March. They thought that could be their playoff dream over. Darryl Clark thought that maybe that would be his playoff dream over. However, Crosby took over. They managed 1 loss in 10. The type of form that kept it in with a chance of this promotion. And here they are today. They're living that dream. They've realised that dream. And they are now 3 minutes away from that dream. For Mansfield, well, it's heartbreak again. They have never won promotion in the EFL. Their 4th time through the playoffs. And somehow the curse of the playoffs still haunts them. Broken heart after broken heart. Still they search for that win. That will mend the pain. That will make the pain easier from what they've been through. But today is not that day. There will be other days and there will be other opportunities. But for now, they continue on with pride. It's Bowery with the ball here. Feeds it into the feet. It's come all the way out to McCaulin on the left. McCaulin plays it in to Lepsley, and then Lepsley gives it in. Back to McCaulin. It's Akins, he was into his feet. It was a heavy touch though. No, it's just all about pride now. 3-0. They've played well. Their Mansfield and Brian Clough team can hold their hands up high. If only they played like this in the opening 25 minutes in this first half, they would have found themselves in this dire, abject position of defeat. And it was a cut across, and it was a header met by Perch, who came across. But as for the man of the match, then as for the commentary hub, man of the match, you think it has to go to James Wilson. 1 goal, 6 shots, 7 touches in the opposition box. He has been the manager's dream. Darryl Cooley, he looks to the skies. Nearly brought to tears. above the Wembley Arch. He looks. He's so close to something that he's dreamed. He has an incredible record in the playoffs. As he said, he's back-to-back promotions. He won, and he is brought to tears cruelly. He looks down at the floor, trying to hold back the tears. On football's biggest stage, a man who has been through circumstances that none of us wish to go through, but he has continued on, he has fought on, and he is now 2 minutes away from sending his team into League One. It's a fairy tale story. It's one of those sporting moments that will transcend beyond leagues, transcend beyond languages. For Nigel Clough, he now wonders and ponders of what could have been. He's done so well for a Mansfield team this season. A Mansfield team that aren't in financially any good position, but he's done brilliantly. He got them to this position just. He got them there, but it's just one step too far. And now they clap. The claps ring out for Port Vale fans. They now just wait in anticipation for this final whistle. They're 2 minutes away from it now. Mansfield still play on. They're inside their own half. Maybe they can get a consolation goal. Stumbling over his feet. He tries to play the ball and he just can't do it. And it's going to come all the way back to the Port Vale keeper, to Aidan Stone. And now we are only 1 minute away from the final whistle. Mansfield still playing on, still fighting like they have done in this second half. They can leave with their heads held high. Mansfield end that was brimmed really, were in the lower tier, but they've walked away. Some fans, though, a lot of fans still stay here to cheer and watch their team on. Tries to take on his man, crosses the ball into the box, headed away like they've done there every corner. Lands though, crosses back into the box. No one there, and that could be a foul to Port Vale. It's not. Headed it back in. It's ping pong in the area. Port Vale again, just first at every ball's a shot. It's a deflection, and then Stone will collect with 30 seconds left of this second half. They're the Port Vale players. They get their t-shirts on. Black t-shirts imprinted with the words, "We are going up." They fought this season. He kisses his watch. Darryl Clark. This team, a team that deserves it more than most. They're now 10 seconds away from League One. The stuff that all kids dream of. Promotion in football's biggest arena. The referee is hustled to the corner. The referee looks to his watch and he blows the whistle. And Port Vale are going to League One. Crawley hugs Nigel Clough. He condolences his opposition team and the staff around him before the celebrations will continue long into the night. For the Port Vale superiors and the owners, it's jubilation. For the fans, it's jubilation. The long wait, the drought. They haven't been in League One since 16-17. But thanks to goals from Harrott and Wilson, and then betting right at the end, they are going to League One. It's been an incredible game. It's been an incredible season. A season like no other. A season that has tested everyone inside the football club. No more so than Darryl Clark. But they will be in League One next season. Port Vale are your winners. It's full time here from Wembley. It's Mansfield 0, Port Vale 3.
Thank you very much there to Josh Bailey for excellent commentary as Port Vale are victorious by 3-0 against Mansfield Town in the League 2 playoff final. Excellent commentary from Josh once again, as always, as he provides it every single time he is on here on the commentary, but also on when he does the reporting on our sister channel as well, Football Live as well. Brilliant stuff from Josh as always. Fantastic work today. Fantastic football from Port Vale to get through, and he looks more likely that Paul that Ryan Edmondson, the former Leeds United player currently on loan at Port Vale, has been promoted today up into League One from League Two. Went on loan under Bielsa, and I'm wondering if he'll have a future under Jesse Marsh back at Ellen Road. The former Rotherham United player Jamie Proctor amongst those for Port Vale who came off of the bench this afternoon and for his side. There's Dave Flitcroft, the director of football at Port Vale. Nigel Clough, the Burton, the Mansfield manager, should I say, the former Burton boss as well. The son of Brian, who his side we managed for so long, Nottingham Forest, way back when, will be taking centre stage at Wembley tomorrow to see if they will be able to get promoted from the Championship into the Premier League. I wonder if that will happen, but back here right now, Port Vale are victorious and are promoted to League One at the end of this. There is Nigel Clough just going back down into the tunnel. There's the trophy there I've just seen as we will be wrapping up very, very shortly before we come back on a little bit later for the Champions League final. But just before we do wrap up, unfortunately we won't be able to feature the trophy presentation from this game this afternoon going into this evening. But first and foremost, let's go back to your match commentator Josh Bailey just to get his final thoughts on the game. And Josh, fantastic game today from Port Vale from start to finish. As you mentioned in commentary, Mansfield were very, very poor for the first 20-25 minutes, and that's what cost them the game today. Obviously, the red card didn't help either. But how proud must Del Club be feeling right now of his Port Vale side earning promotion to League One?
They played.
Just seemed to have lost Josh there for a second.
Hello? Oh, here, Ross, I'm here. I'm here, Ross.
We're
Don't
back,
worry.
Josh. We're back now with Josh Bailey. And Josh, what did you, as I said before, unfortunately we lost connection for you. How proud do you think Del Clark could be of his Port Vale side after earning promotion to League One?
They played a game. They played the game how a playoff game should be played. You know, they didn't play the occasion. They just treated it like another match of football, and they used. It felt like they used the nerves, all the excitement, anticipation, and they put that into aggression, and they put that into fight, and they put that into their running, and they channeled it into making them better, really. And that first 20 minutes, the energy they came out with, they were ready. They were ready for this game, and it always does feel like these games can get away from you in the first 20 minutes, especially if you're like Mansfield and you sort of hid away from the occasion. And that first 20 minutes, which they did, and Port Vale blew them away. Mansfield played well in that second half, but it was too late. They created a lot of opportunities, and imagine what they could have done if they had the 12 men, 11 men on the pitch. Unfortunately, they didn't. Unfortunately, Hawkins, of course, he got sent off, and he will feel guilty today because I feel like the game still wasn't out of their reach. Even 2-0 down within 20 minutes, you don't know how this is going to go. The playoff games change over and over again. They're a seesaw roller coaster of emotions. However, when that game got on, you kind of felt like it was going to end the way it did. So, unfortunately, you know, for Mansfield, they'll be devastated. For Vale, they can enjoy it, and I'm happy for Daryl Clark being through what he's been through this season, being through his back staff have done through what they've done through, and even his team, the uncertainty between March and February and March. But they're here, they're into League One, and this is a fairy tale moment in football. This is why we do love football.
It is indeed, Josh, it is indeed. And just before we do wrap up today, Josh, a bit later on the channels where we're broadcasting this game right now, we'll have the Champions League final with JB a little bit later on. And just before I get your prediction for the Champions League final, Josh, I've the Real Madrid team came in during the match which you were watching this evening, and I'll just quickly run you through that team. JB will remind you of that team later on when we go live with that match. But just to run through the Real Madrid team, the Liverpool team is yet to come in for Real Madrid is Thibaut Courtois, Dani Carvajal, Ed Militao, David Alaba, Toni Kroos, Karim Benzema, Luka Modric, Casemiro, Valverde, Vinicius Junior, and Ferland Mendy in the starting line with the likes of Eden Hazard, Marco Asensio, Marcelo, Lucas Vazquez, Gareth Bale, Rodrigo Isco, and Camavinga amongst those on the Real Madrid bench, just to name a few there. Josh, obviously we don't know what side Jurgen Klopp will be putting out yet this evening. That news is yet to come through to us here at the commentary hub. But with that Real Madrid side, as you've seen there, Josh, how do you think the game will go this evening? And do you think Real Madrid will, in from other team there, will have enough in their camp to get past Liverpool this evening?
No, I think the team's okay. I think it's a good team, but I personally just think on a one-off game, I think Liverpool will win. I think Liverpool know how to win, and if you look across the games that Real Madrid have played, they've won it both in extra time across two legs. So I feel like across one leg, across 90 minutes, Liverpool will have too much for them. And they've played in so many finals this year. They've done this Champions League final before. And I guess you can say this Real Madrid team, that the core of it has done Champions League finals before. But I think in terms of quality, Liverpool will have too much, and Liverpool will win today.
Yes, thank you very much there to you guys here on the commentary hub and also our partner channels Storm FM and JB Sports. We've brought you the League Two playoff final between Mansfield Town and Port Vale, and it's Port Vale who are victorious and heading to League One next season. So from all of the team here at the commentary hub and our partner channels right now, thank you very much for listening. We'll be back. Well, I'll be back later. So will Jay, and JB will be back later. Josh will be back during next season. So a big thank you for your contributions this season. Josh Bailey there as Port Vale are the team that are promoted to League One at the end of this playoff final this evening. So thank you for your contributions this season. Josh, brilliant to have you on the channel. And hopefully we'll get you on during the summer as well when we bring our listeners the Women's Euros in the summer from the 6th of July. So from all the team here, thank you very much. Good night. Well, goodbye and see you later.